Hi, Mr. De La Garza. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Mr. De La Garza, you testified a moment ago that you are familiar with the Texas Whistleblower Act, correct?
Yes, I did.
And you understand that the Texas Whistleblower Act affords protection to people that go to law enforcement so they can go to law enforcement without retribution, right?
Yes.
And as part of the Texas Whistleblower Act, that protection only extends to people who still have their job.
Yes, they are, yes.
Right, so what I mean is, if you report someone to law enforcement and they still have their job and then they're retaliated against, they are protected by whistleblower, correct?
If they comply with the retaliatory, the requirements in the Texas Whistleblower Act, yes.
But if they get fired before they go to law enforcement, they're not afforded the protection of the Whistleblower Act, correct?
Right, it has to be, right.
Right, so before you go to law enforcement, you don't want to tell your boss, I'm going to law enforcement.
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Under the Whistleblower Act, if you tell your boss you're going to law enforcement, you get terminated, then you go to law enforcement, you're not entitled to the whistleblower protection, correct?
Objection, speculation. It's the same question, Your Honor.
Just said he knew this.
You can answer if you know.
All right, could you just repeat the question, please?
Sure. Under the whistleblower statute that you said you're familiar with, if you tell your boss, I'm about to go to law enforcement, then you go to, before you go to law enforcement, you get fired, then you go to law enforcement, you're not entitled to the protections of the whistleblower statute, are you?
I guess you could make the argument in court. I'm not sure how successful you'd be.
But you agree with my statement, correct?
Probably wouldn't be the best way to do it.
So if someone were to stand up here over and over...
Witness needs to speak up when you speak.
Oh, excuse me.
If someone were to stand up here over and over and say, why didn't you just call your boss? Before you went to law enforcement, why didn't you just call your boss? Under the Whistleblower Act, that wouldn't be a good idea, would it?
I mean, if your plan was to file a lawsuit, then yes, you shouldn't do that.
You should not go to your boss first.
If you were planning to file a lawsuit, I mean, it depends on the situation.
I'm not talking about a lawsuit. I'm talking about whistleblower protection. It would not be a good idea to call your boss first, right?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled.
Right?
You're asking me to speculate. I'm not sure what a plaintiff should or shouldn't do.
You don't want to answer that, do you?
I'm not here to, speculate as to what a potential plaintiff under the Whistleblower Act should do or could do.
Just so we're clear, you're not here now. A moment ago, you were okay with it, right?
Objection, Your Honor. It's argumentative.
Sustained.
All right, let's put up AG 120, please. Can you see AG 120?
Yes.
This is a document that you created, an email, right?
Yes.
And in this email, it says, here are my list of why Vassar, Maxwell, Penley, Brickman should be considered high-level policymakers who are exempt from whistleblower protection, correct?
Yes.
This is your analysis.
This was a privileged and confidential document that we are brainstorming.
I appreciate that, but I think I wrote down your words, and what you said was, this is my analysis. You still stand by that?
Sure.
And you said, I stand by that today.
Yes.
And you said to the senators here, this is the correct analysis, right?
At the time, I believed it was the correct analysis. So
this argument, this exact argument that's in this document right here was made in the court, right?
I'm not sure. I wasn't involved in that.
You're not familiar with the Court of Appeals case, Office of the Attorney General versus Blake Brickman, Mark Penley, David Maxwell, and Ryan Vassar? You're not familiar with that?
I'm familiar, but I wasn't involved. I didn't work on that appeal.
Are you familiar with the decision that came out in that appeal?
I would have to read it and
You don't remember?
To be honest, I'm not sure if I carefully, that was not something that I needed to read.
Well, if you had read it, you would know that the Court of Appeals said all of your analysis in AG 120 was wrong.
Objection argumentative.
Right? He knows,
Overruled.
right?
It happens as lawyers, you know, we make arguments and courts don't agree with them. And so, you know, there's always going to be a winning side and a losing side. And at the time, I was just coming up with potential arguments. That's what, you know, we do.